All right, welcome everyone. We are live. Um, welcome to our final three, to Gabe, to Ryan, to Callie. Hello to my other lovely co-host, to Miss Sarah, to Queen Heart, to Nicole, who's not able to be with us tonight. All right, but we are going to start off with a little bit of fun here. We're going to start off with our intro video from the season. Share audio. Ta-da.
This is Resident Evil Hoedowns.
All right, here was our intro video from the season. If it'll let me expand the screen. Here we go.
Aww. Mm. I love it, Gabe.
Thanks.
Rest
Yay!
right.
All right, click stop sharing there. All right.
All right, who's ready to get this party started?
I'm going to pull myself out of here. And
All right.
I believe we told you guys all. Believe I said 5 minutes for opening and 5 minutes for closing. So I will have a timer set for that, just in case we need it. But I'll be pulling myself out. Good luck, you guys, and have fun.
And I'm going to awkwardly stay on the screen with you the entire time and stare at you all. Oh, Heart apparently is staying too. Okay. It's fine. I guess we can stay. Okay, never mind. All right. Anyway. How are you all doing? Congratulations on getting here.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, cool.
Nervous.
So, all right. Well, that's all right. We'll get through it. And it'll be a great experience for all. So today, starting with the final speeches, well, beginning speeches, but the final tribal speeches, we're going to start with Gabe. So I'm going to give you the floor, and you have 5 minutes to give your opening speech.
Sounds good. Be prepared to put the 5-minute timer on. Okay, so I suck at speeches in terms of doing them impromptu, so I do and will read according to a script that I made really quick. So up to you guys. So it won't be as authentic. So essentially, hey guys, I want to first start off with by thanking both the hosts and you fellow peeps for making this an unprecedentedly chaotic, memorable but fun season. In general, I do hope no one took any of my game moves as personal and see that my MO was styled to try and strive for a more balanced setting, from chaotic to calmer players, as well as threats to lesser, and at the end of the day, leaving two sides going around. I felt like my story arc involved having a target set on me several times, particularly in the first tribal, touchy subjects, and its consequences, but still ensuring I solidly maneuver in a more fair and composed manner. Compared to what touchy subjects dictates, I was more into having one-to-one relationships over alliance chats. I feel like some of my feats this season were winning three of the immunity challenges, final 8, 5, and 4, went to two tribals involving rocks, and I never actually went to rocks myself. I won two advantages, which was a friend swap advantage, which I can explain later on, from the embarrassing video challenge, as well as a final six idol from the sardines challenge. I ate a total of 4.5 tins or 15 sardines, which is about, I don't know, something like this much. But we'll leave them there for now. Whilst also succeeding in the Friends twist, whilst also succeeding in Friends twist. Thus, I was immune for the last 5 rounds through three different methods. My actions caused two idols to get triggered and then flushed from Callie as well as Molly, and I'll explain later on. Only I was the only person to successfully play an idol in the game, which ended up being a 6-1. Thus, also had the final vote on that for sure, and I made it to the end despite being the last Dorothy in the final five. In terms of the merge, in terms of the game as a whole, I had targeted Sean in the first vote due to my perceived from inactivity of him from my point of view. Other people might have seen it different, but that's what I experienced. I ended up losing Amanda in rocks, which was a devastating blow to me at the time, and it was difficult to recover from. But I also had the privilege of having three other people go to rocks for me, and for that I am grateful. Whether it was pro me or anti Sean, I don't care. I made sure to try and make some damage control, letting other people have the excuse of using my time zone. Need be, I gave them the excuse and made sure that they could see that I'm willing to give them a chance and think, oh, I feel it's on me. And again, I got super lucky from the hosts themselves that I ended up getting an immediate swap after that. So I never got to experience the consequences necessarily. But from the swap, I managed to meet new people, and one of them was Callie, as well as Holly, and obviously Molly. But obviously, you guys know that Molly was my friend, so that was a connection already on. In at merge in Kinsey's vote, I did stay true to what we had talked about prior and was glad we managed to hash out past differences. I had in fact voted for Brandon, as I was told he was gunning for me. I didn't understand why this was the case, to be honest, and so I assumed he might have done this for personal reasons. So I do want to publicly apologize regarding what my misunderstandings were at the time and had only realized by your exit speech. With the events of touchy subjects and Anthony's fake eye that he gave to Tyler, and the rumor of a guy's thing ended up forming a said guy's thing. Though I realize this did not make sense without some advantage. Basically, it did not make sense for four girls to align together and say there's a five guy thing. And obviously, safety shame was played, and thus losing Nick, who was my number one at the time, was devastating once again. Given the given touchy subjects, it was probably better for either of us to go early. So the one person of us to leave was probably better for the other person to make genuine deals with the other people. Around this time, I had bonded further with people like Ryan, Molly, and Callie on a one-to-one setting. At this point, with Anthony going out on rocks, I assured Callie that it's the best for us to remain on our sides, and will help each other in rocks in whatever outcome the rocks will give us. From here, I gave Tyler a great deal at final 7, but it was not taken up on, and used my idol, knowing who to target from deduction. Essentially, I forced that the very next round I would be saved by the friend's twist. Whilst I was ready to socially maneuver in this situation from final 6 onwards, I wasn't going to struggle competitions in the end
30
game.
seconds, Gabe.
So I won out and ensured to leave balance and make Holly stay at final 4. So that way there would always be a target before me. Just like anyone else will, of course, still possess different flaws, and there are still minute details in the votes that likely couldn't be fit in this speech. So hopefully I'll be able to answer them. Either way, thank you guys so much, like I said before, and I'll leave the floor or to the remaining finalists and to you guys, jurors. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Gabriel. And now we will move on to Callie's opening statement.
Hello, everybody. The second time I've been at tribal or final tribal, and both times I've realized as soon as the first person talked, I was horribly underprepared. I didn't write a speech or anything, so I probably won't be able to go into as much detail as Gabe did. But what I really wanted to say tonight is that I think I play a pretty different game than a lot of other people play. And sometimes it's not appreciated when people aren't always making big moves and they're not always going out and blowing things up. And in a game like Survivor, chaos can be really rewarded and appreciated by the members of the jury. I don't play that way. I play a pretty quiet game. I think I play an incredibly loyal game, but I also play a really smart game. And I think, like Gabe was an alliance I had the minute we were on the same tribe. We never told anybody about that. I knew before touchy subjects, but it really was confirmed at touchy subjects that the 3 people I wanted the most to be at the end with me, Madison, Nick, and Gabe, were 3 people who would undoubtedly beat me at the end. And so the question for me became, how can I get to the end, not with those 3, but without having to betray my alliances and without having to vote against them? And so the key for me was making sure that I always had information flowing to me, and so that I could make the best decisions as I could in each moment. And there were definitely times where I had to sacrifice things that I wanted. I did not want Nick to go in the safety chain, and it was only afterwards that I realized that it was to my advantage that he wasn't there. And I do think that Gabe is probably only here because I knew about his idol and I told him to play it. I don't know if that was the smartest move because he's here and he has a really good chance of beating me, and it sent Madison home. But I knew one of the girls was going to have to go at some point. I didn't want to have to be an active participant. So that was one of those times where Gabe and I kind of said, let's do our own thing. Let's see how it plays out and trust each other. And so I guess I just want everybody I'm excited for the questions. I'm ready for the heat. And I hope I have a chance to help you all understand my gameplay a little bit better tonight if you are having questions about it. So thank you.
Thank you, Callie. All right. So, I made final 3. How about you go?
Well, I don't think I should swear, but I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who played, to the hosts. I had an absolute blast this season. I hope I really brought it in terms of the entertainment value, because at the very least, I want this game to be fun first and foremost. And I had an amazing time, so I just want to say thank you for that. But going into the start of the game, like I said, I wanted to have fun. I wanted to do what I can. But I also wanted to make strong social bonds. I'm going to see as far as I can go, see what I can do, and have a blast while doing it. And in the process, I was able to do a certain thing where I was able to manipulate the perception of myself to be someone who's not to be taken seriously, which is something that definitely plays a factor towards the end. But on that first try, we found an easy vote. Callum, who unfortunately did not participate, that was fine by me. An easy vote sometimes is always a smart vote. And then I did not feel like I was at the highest standing on the tribe, so when we got to a swap, I wanted to try to make cross-tribal allies, and I would think I was able to accomplish that. We did vote off an inactive, but I also was able to pick up a very crucial ally that probably the most crucial ally I had the whole game, Tyler. He was a wild card, but very, very beneficial to my success. So I was able to get the tribe to blindside Seb, who unfortunately is a super nice guy, but I felt like he was probably pretty well positioned in his original tribe, and I wanted to use that and try to make, a bridge to the other tribe when we get to merge, which is what happened. So I was able to connect with Tyler, which brought me to Gabe, to Nick, and then which brought us to the merge. I did want Brendan to go. I just didn't have a lot of communication with him, but unfortunately, Kinsey was essentially throwing in the towel. So, fortunately, you got to pick and choose your battles. I wish I could had played longer with Kinsey, but it just wasn't meant to be. But then the rumors started flying. Molly, I felt like Holly, was planting seeds about an all guys thing. I got the information from Tyler that she was saying certain things to him. She was saying certain things to me, which led me to believe that she was trying to get the guys to go after each other, which led me to rally all the guys together, say we need to take out one of the girls, doesn't matter to me who. But unfortunately, the safety chain was played that round, which again, my alliance with Tyler that I had formed on that swap tribe, which saved me when probably a lot of people thought I was going to go, but I did have that bond with Tyler, which protected me there. Which led into the next round where people went to rocks for me. And in the process, because of the seeds that I had planted earlier in the game about controlling the perception of myself, people thought it was a goofball. So when I said Callie's name in the main chat, she thought I was being genuine with it, and she played her idol. Flushed it. Which, my life was on the line. I need to make sure an idol was not getting played on the intended target. People went to rocks, and fortunately, good ally Anthony of mine went home. But what you gonna do? But because of the seeds I had planted, I had made it so that when I was in danger, I also wasn't at the same time, because I was never seen as a big fish to fry. I was always still in the majority. I found ways in. I made a good bond with Holly. I started planting the seeds to take out Molly, who was someone I thought had a very good chance of winning as early as Final 7, which kept the target off of me. Gabe played his idol, which I also had a good bond with Gabe, so he wouldn't idol me out. Took out Madison, went back because of and keeping threats in front of me, such as Tyler. He took the boot over me when I was very much in danger, and was able to get Holly to flip on Molly at Final 5 like I had intended. And then Final 4, Gabe won immunity, who I actually would have voted out that round. Sorry, Gabe. But also led me to go into fire, adding one final notch to my resume, taking out a major driving force in the backstretch of the merge, Holly, in fire making, and getting myself here. I'm looking forward to answering all your questions. If you can't tell, I'm just a little nervous, but I'm ready for everything.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. So we're all ready for our first juror. So we're going to welcome Nick.
Hello, everybody. How we doing? So first, just reaction to opening statements. So I have a question. I'm going to make some statements about each of you after we go through the question. But I'm going to have to amend a few of those because you answered a lot of some of the statements I was going to try to ask you to clarify throughout in your opening statements. So you all nailed opening statements, which is great. So be really, really confident in yourself. You all just declared that this is going to be a battle through till the end. So I'm looking forward to it, but also not, because I have to vote in the end, and it's not going to be fun. So for my question, I'm going to do a fun little exercise. All three of you are going to close your eyes. I'm going to say the name of a juror. If you think going into tonight you would have their vote, you have their support, they're championing you going into this final tribal council, you're going to raise your hand. All right? So everybody close your eyes. First juror.
Can I ask for a modification?
Yes.
Is it championing or just leaning towards us?
Leaning towards. If they were to
Is this an
Okay,
answer?
good enough.
Is that a good
Good
answer? Or
enough.
does it
Yeah,
have to be definite?
if he's an answer, raise your hand if you're confident. You can be iffy, nothing if no. And then going into tonight, if they were to have been asked to vote, where do you think they would stand? So, first juror, Kinsey. Okay. Next juror, Brendan. Next juror, me, Nick. All right, Anthony. All right. Madison. Tyler. Molly. Holly. All right. Thank you very much. Now for some statements. Callie, one of the things that I was going to say to you and talk to you about was like with the friend twist and a day we went, but you answered that in your speech, and it was honestly like how I would have preferred that you answer it. Like you said, like you wanted to go with very deep with me, you wanted to go very deep with Madison, with very deep with Gabe, and like you said, a touchy subject that said like the people you really want to go there with are the ones that would beat you, and you were at that crossroads. And what I really loved about your speech was that you said, I want to try to find a way to get there without having to vote them out. And like you said, like you were, to hear that you were hurt was great for me that I went, but also to hear that you were like probably a little bit better for me.
Yeah.
Is also kind of validating. So that you had that awareness is really, really good to see and good to hear. I think it speaks to your game. I liked your little initial speech about the chaos. How it's sometimes rewarded, but people don't always play that game. So stick tight with how you played. Continue owning it like you did in that opening speech, because for me, you nailed it. Ryan, we didn't have as many strong social bonds, but you were entertaining, hands down. You met that goal. And what I was going to say was that you would need to wow me with some cool strategic stuff in order to have a shot. You did that. Talking about the Tyler vote, and not necessarily the Tyler vote, bringing in Tyler for yourself and making those tribal bonds. I think you read Seb being in a strong position, because when I went into my confessional, I said there were 3 people whose names I could never write down this season: Gabe, Molly, and Seb. So I think your read on Seb was perfect. He was going to be well positioned. So to blindside him was excellent. So again, amazing job. Continue wowing me. Please. Well, I mean, don't continue wowing me because I'd like an easy vote, but continue wowing me because it'd be fun.
I get you, brother.
Gabe. Oh, so impressive. So much fun to play with you and be a ride or die. I really enjoyed it. Excellent opening speech. Good job keeping it brief but hitting your major points. You did awesome. I think one of the things that really wowed me that I didn't realize in your opening speech that I'm going to harp on because I think it's important. You had immunity for, I think, 5 straight rounds, you said, or roughly. But I think the most important thing that came out of that wasn't that how many rounds you had it, but how many ways you had it. Because very often, like, somebody has a run as a challenge beast and they're just a challenge beast. I think the fact that you had it 3 different ways, you won challenges, but then you had an idol, which gets tossed into the mix because Callie told you to play it. So, like, it's all this crazy stuff going through, and it's exciting, but also difficult. But that's impressive because that shows a little bit of strategic sense, a little bit of social bonds, and being able to know when to do it. And the friend twist, taking advantage of a twist in the game, shows a strong social bond that you were able to work with your friend and you kept each other protected, and that you were the last one standing. So I think that's just as equally impressive. You all did so many impressive things, and I'm really excited to see the rest of this play out. I'm going to be drinking because it's going to be hard. Hold tight to the confidence that you all had when you delivered your opening speeches, because they were excellent. I think this was one of my favorite seasons that I've ever played, and the cast was amazing, and whichever one of the 3 of you wins, just based on those opening speeches and what I know will be an amazing final tribal, will be an amazing winner to add to Cerberus's Wall of Fame in an already historic season.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Nick.
you all so much.
Thank you
Love
very
all
much,
3 of
Nick.
you. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Nick.
We appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Nick. All right, and now we have our next juror on deck. We have Kinsey.
Again.
Hey. So I came prepared, but now hearing the opening speeches, my speech has completely changed. As Ryan, I thought you voted with me the round I left, but it turns out it's Gabe. So I have a very different outlook now on how I wanted to come in here. And I'm not going to be mean, Callie, but I love how you raise your hand because you definitely probably do not have my vote. It's honestly probably between Gabe and Ryan.
I didn't raise my hand for you.
Oh, okay. I was told you did because I missed it. So.
I did not.
Okay.
No, I
I'm
didn't.
not trying to be mean, but like I'll get into why you don't have my vote in a second.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna like ask each of you a question and then go into a statement. Mr. Clark, I'll start with you. So you told me that you still wanted me in the game, and you said to vote for Brendan. Why did you end up voting for me?
I ended up voting for you because you were essentially, you weren't quitting per se, but you're saying you were fine with leaving. If I fight and stick my neck out for someone like that, I'm looking like a selfish player in the game and I'm looking out for my own benefits. You got to pick and choose your battles in this game. So unfortunately, the tide was going towards your direction. We just merged. I need to go with the flow. So, and then, I have to figure out something later. Had you not said that, I would have fought so much harder for you.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Callie, like you say that you told Gabe to like play his idol and stuff. Do you not see how much of a threat Gabe is? Like, I'm sorry, Gabe. You know I love you. I do love Gabe, but he is a huge threat. And when I saw that he almost got voted out at the beginning, I was kind of happy. I'm not gonna lie. And then I heard it went into rocks, and you guys just let him sail like right on by. Like I don't know how you guys don't catch that he's a huge threat.
I know Gabe's a huge threat. And what I will say is if I love him to the moon and back, but if you wouldn't have won immunity the last round, it would have been you, I think, that would have been doing that fire building challenge. I would have voted your name. The reason I didn't, and I told him to play that idol on that night, is because we had specific conversations that day about honesty and trust and telling each other if our names came up. And I tried to push pretty hard for like Ryan or Tyler, but I can't remember exactly who was available that night to vote for the boys. But I tried pretty hard to say, let's wait for Gabe one more round. And not because I didn't think he was a threat. Like I said in my opening statement, Gabe, Madison, and Nick, I think, are the three that were most likely to crush me. And I've had conversations in my confessionals and I think with Gabe and probably with others of some people probably see it as a really stupid move bringing Gabe to the finale, and he will probably beat me. But I cannot look Gabe in the face and say, I trust you, you trust me, and then 2 minutes later turn around and send him home. It's just not how I play. And my game is still developing, but I would rather know that at the end of the day, Gabe and I can continue feeling trust and friendship with one another, and that he's not hurt because of my direct actions.
Okay, fair enough. Mr. Gabe, hello.
Hi.
So I am very shocked, to be honest, to actually hear that you're the one who voted with me. I did not know that at all until literally your opening speech. That's why I came in here with a different outlook, how I was going to come at you guys. So when I heard that it was you that voted Brendan with me, that honestly took me by surprise. It really did. But I'm glad that like we were able to get that, whatever the word, like get back on track with each other, because I know the other game we played, it kind of went a little sour. But with that being said, why did you end up voting Brendan with me?
Honestly, like me and you, I don't know, maybe if you forgot, but we hashed it out the night that it ended up getting merged, as well as I came up to you and said at that moment it was true that there were more votes on Brendan, and apparently you had said to your OG tribe that you didn't mind if you got voted out, and like even in that previous game, the last conversation we had, we wanted to mend fences and things like that, but we just couldn't because we were on opposite sides, and I didn't. It wasn't even jury management or anything. Well, maybe it ended up being so, like with this outcome, who knows? But I just was like, you know what, like if I told you I'm going to vote with you the very first round that we actually could end up voting together, like I didn't see a good reason not to, in terms of like, how do you say, I didn't want to kick you down even more. You know, it's more out of courtesy rather than some bigger benefit. You know, I think that's mostly it.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was planning on coming in here because I don't know if you guys know, when I was in final tribal council for the game I was just in, I got attacked badly. I got heat like no tomorrow. So I was gonna come in here and wanting to return it to you guys, but honestly, at this point, I don't think you guys deserve it. In a way, you guys all like deserve to be here. But that being said, I do have an interesting question for each and every one of you. If you could describe me in 3 words, what would they be and why?
I will start. I would say chaotic, kind, and consistent.
I would say fiery, passionate, and outspoken.
I was gonna say passionate, loud, and fun-loving. Imagine that's one word.
Okay, you guys, none of you guys said why.
Oh, why, sir?
Oh, why? Sorry. I don't know if you can argue that you're chaotic, right? You are outspoken. Everything everybody else said. Like if there's an argument in tribe, Kenzie's probably going to be involved in it somewhere. But I also think on you and I's one-to-one conversations, you've talked a lot about like how hard you work on yourself and how you're trying to shift some of those things, and that it does matter to you how people see you and how you treat people, and that sometimes maybe this game brings out harsher parts of you than you mean to share. And I say consistent just because I know what to expect from you. You know what I mean? It's I don't mean that in a bad way at all. It's just that like you know, when you play with Kinsey, you're gonna have a little bit of extra action.
Fair enough. Thanks, Callie.
Yeah, why I said fiery, I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going with that. You're always ready to start the fire. You're always ready to, take someone down a peg when they've rubbed you the wrong way or done something you know is sleazy. You're not gonna hold back. You're not gonna play nice. You're just gonna be like, hey, you did this and it sucks. Passionate and like honestly, that is passion. So like you bring your heart, your soul in these games. It's very obvious when I see you play. You always bring 110% in everything you do. Some people might slack on you a bit, but your heart and soul 100% goes into these games. Otherwise, you wouldn't have such a strong reaction for all of them. And outspoken, like I said, also goes into fiery. Like big example in the game with Tyler. Like Tyler, why did you do that? We were all together and we could have won.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Thanks, Clark.
Ryan is pretty much taking my points. To try and make it sound different, so it's not copy and pasted at the end of the day regarding loud and passionate to bring them together, as well as with the Tyler example. Your integrity, aka sticking to what you believe in, you go true and true. Like if you see something wrong, like you'll point it out and you'll assess it and want it to get addressed immediately. Hence why. And the other adjective was fun-loving, which you can see, so to say, like there's another side of you that's more how to say, like going with the flow and just being a bit more chill in reality and just a bit more of a party person. I'm sure, or this isn't like big news either, and that's just that. I think maybe potentially my answers might not be too much about this particular game, but about you as a whole. Maybe that might be the thing, but that's since you asked about you yourself.
All right, thanks, guys. You just made it really hard. You all answered that pretty well. I wish I could vote for all of you, but I'm just going to end this quickly because I'm sure everybody does want to be here. I'll just say a quick statement for each and one of you. I'm really glad I was able to play with you guys. Unfortunately, with how the cookie crumbled, with having Stairway to Hell the night of the live, and I was just not there in the head anymore. I was just so tired, and I really didn't want to quit the game. Like I really was looking forward to playing as hard as I could. But just as how things were, unfortunately, I don't really want to say I threw in the towel, but I mean, I did kind of give up in a way, and it does suck at the end of the day. I really wish I could have put my heart and soul out to finish properly, but unfortunately things happen. But I think you guys all played a good game in a way. Clark, I like the connection how we made from the beginning. Gabe, I'm glad we were able to hash things out. And same with you, Callie. I know we kind of had a little bit of, we never really talked since the last game we played together. So I'm glad we were able to kind of fix things and get back on track with each other. But anyways, good luck, guys. I already know where my vote's going, I think. So thank you all. And yeah, see you guys on the other side.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Kinsey.
Jen.
All right. Thanks, Kinsey. All right. So I am asking a question for one of the jurors, and there's only one question. This is from Brendan, and this question is for Gabe. What's it like being so sexy all the time?
It's pretty okay, actually. I'm from Malta, so the accent does help. Like, I don't know what you wanted to answer that, man. I don't know what you find sexy about me. I honestly, I know we played a game together over a year ago, but I didn't realize for the sake of it, if you're hearing this, I didn't realize when you had targeted me that it was for non-person reasons. Not that I thought there was a person reason, but I just couldn't think of any reason. I kind of thought you forgot that I exist just because it was a game over a year ago. I'm assuming that's why you targeted me. Or if maybe you had a friend who told you, hey, like, you need to take out Gabe ASAP. Either way, like, I'm grateful to have heard your exit speech, and I'm once again sorry to how I had approached things. But essentially, I'll just wrap that up right there.
Well, it seems that you made some sort of impact. So, well, thank you, Brendan. So we're going to have our next juror come in, and that would be Molly.
Hi, Molly.
Sorry, I was on mute. I've been drinking. Hi,
Same.
guys. Wow, congratulations to all of you guys. Your opening speeches were fantastic. Like Nick had mentioned, I had like kind of questions, but I feel like a lot of it was answered in opening speeches, which is amazing because that just shows how great opening speeches were. But anyway, I don't know if I really have questions. I'm really proud of all of you guys. I think this is going to be a very hard decision because you all have interesting games, very different at some points. Oh, Callie, I kind of do wish that you had flipped and voted me that round because that would have made me even more impressed. But I'm so proud of you for getting here, and I'm so proud that you're representing the Sophia's kittens.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, Ryan, I had a feeling the whole time that you were just kind of acting like a clown just to throw us off. I was like, guys, he's smart. Like, don't fall for, like, he's just fucking acting like a goon to throw us off. And it worked. And I'm very impressed with what you've been saying tonight, Gabe. Of course, my friend. Obviously, you've proven yourself to be a threat time after time in these games. You played amazingly this game. I'm proud of you for getting here. And I don't know if I guess I'll come up with a question. Each of you, if you could describe your game in 3 words, not Kenzie, but your game.
I think I would say mine is smart, thoughtful, and slow.
Okay, cool. Anyone can go. I don't need an order.
Balance, analysis, survival.
Cool.
I would say sneaky, chaotic, and layered.
Okay. All right. I like those answers. Thank you. And thank you, hosts. And good luck with the rest of the stuff tonight. I'm going to go get drunk again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Molly.
Right.
Thanks, Molly.
Now, can I leave? Okay.
All right. So we'll bring in our next juror, and that would be Anthony. Maybe. Oh, there he
He's
is.
loading. He's
Okay.
loading right now.
I was like,
Just giving you guys an update. It's just me. But
hi.
I mean, while you guys are here waiting for Anthony, I mean, I could throw another puzzle at you guys if you guys really wanted to.
Well, sure, might as
Only if
well.
it's a slider.
You both can do whatever
All right.
puzzles you want to, but I'm not in it.
I swore I'll
All
take
right,
something.
I'll give you guys
All right.
Anthony.
Anthony's here.
Here we go. Here's Anthony.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I did not realize I was already on camera. I cannot log. Oh, I can't log off. Sorry, I'm still at work. I just wanted to make sure that I can talk to you guys before my phone dies. Anyway, congrats on being final three. I do have questions for each one of you. They're all a little different, so it's my question. My first one, Ryan. When it came to when I got rocked out, did you try to push the votes to be on you?
To push the votes to be on me?
Yeah, so when it went to Rocks, so knowing you would be safe, knowing all of us were going to go to Rocks anyways.
I did not push the votes to go on me. I knew they were coming because Molly did inform me it was happening. I wasn't going to fight it. Like I said, if I was taking the votes, then I needed to show you guys I was with you through thick and thin. I would have gone to Rocks had the votes been on you. That's 100%. But no, I wasn't pushing the votes to be on me.
Okay, I totally thought you were like masterminding, big braining, being like, I know if the votes get on me, I'll be safe.
Well, but if someone flips, then I go home. You know what I mean?
No, I know. That's why I was asking. That's why I wanted to verify. Don't worry, you're good. Gabe, my question for you. So I haven't got to talk to you a lot. We were on opposite tribes a lot of the time. It seems like the majority. I'm gonna sit up here. I'm like walking around here. It seems like the jury is majority leaning on your side. Me personally, we didn't get to talk a lot. So I just want to know why specifically, like, I should vote for you. Yeah, you definitely reached out to me and said, hey, but like, there wasn't really anything that I'm like, Gabe was like my number one ally, or Gabe was really great in the game. So just me personally, I just want to know why you think I should vote for you.
No, I don't blame you. I think you went out. Was it you went out on the second episode? To be fair, so we really didn't have as many days as other people did. We hadn't messaged as much, and I totally understand if you don't vote for me. For the sake of it, if you do happen to vote for me, I think reasons as to why would simply be out of two things. If you needed survival at that point in the episode when it flared up that there might be a girl, the girls were inventing that there was a guys thing, I was definitely going to stick true with that in terms of protecting us, because I felt like that might have been a ploy to get the guys against each other or something like that. So I wasn't thinking, oh, like Anthony needs to go ninth or eighth or something along those lines. I didn't have a specific deadline regarding that. Or on the flip side, you could say, oh, like Gabe did so many great moves gameplay wise. For instance, no one could have. Some other people had so much trouble with Tyler. I got Tyler to go to rocks twice, considering I was involved in two rock votes with Tyler, but I'm sure many people would see that as a very dangerous thing. For instance, there was protecting number one, Scully ended up being a number one after Nick went home. And ironically, it was Ryan who made the idea to make a fake name out in the main chat. And I specifically said, let it be Callie instead. The reason why I said this was because I knew the person that we would give out a fake name would not be the person that we target. So that way I wanted Callie to be outside of that. So I didn't want to, how do you say, end up having some weaker person on that side to flip on her or something like that. So same way, in the scenario that you would have stayed in rocks, I feel like we would have had more opportunities to work together. That being said, of course, I can only say, hey, this would have happened, whatever. I can't write it in stone and I totally understand if you're like, hey, technically, you didn't do anything more than vote with me in the last three rounds, and I totally understand that considering you had more tribals with the other people. But
No,
for what I
yeah,
had, I That's what I could give.
No worries. That's a great way to answer my question. Also, a quick question: who was your buddy?
Oh, Molly was my friend, the
Okay,
partner,
Molly was your friend. Okay,
and
cool.
that's why we managed to get together, aka.
Perfect. No worries, no worries. All right, and then Kaylee, my question. So, were you ever like actually fully girl strong? Was that a fake alliance that wasn't actually real? Because if it was, then the girls should have all been final three. No offense to the other two, but the girls kind of had it like wrapped all the guys around their fingertips, and then something fell through. So I just want to know if that was actually true. Were you all actually together? Were you going to actually ever wanted to work with your friend? How did that all come about?
Yeah. The Sophia's Kittens was formed pretty much as soon as Blanche 2.0 came into existence. And what I loved about that alliance, which was a real alliance, I think probably each of us knew there was going to come a time where we would have to start thinking about breaking that up. But what we loved about it is that there was no chaos. We could talk really openly. We had really great conversations and decision making as a group of four without it feeling like the rest of the game was feeling. You know, there was so much chaos and stuff swirling around, and we could go in this little group chat and kind of sort it out and say, what are you hearing? What are you hearing? What are you hearing? And, you know, you can never trust that 100%, which is why I had two other one person secret alliances. I never told anybody about Nick being my friend. And losing him sucked because I did want to take him deeper in the game. I have this history of taking people that I like a lot, rather than the people I can beat. And on one end, I think that's the way it should be, right? Because I think this game should reward good people, but it often doesn't. And so I'm always kind of trying to play that balance between, like, if I want to get to the end, why would I go if I don't want to win? But why do I want to like ruin relationships? So it's always like a big struggle for me. That Nick going home, I had to tell myself, you don't have a lot of control over this. It was good it happened. You needed it to happen. You didn't have to be involved. I thought about voting for Molly. The reason I didn't is because I think that maybe the girls would have respected the move, but maybe they wouldn't have, and I would have lost all four possibility of jury votes for the girls. And I think the main thing that I can say tonight is that I didn't really have to compromise my integrity to get here, and I think that's a big accomplishment. And I know I didn't have 50 idols to play or a whole bunch of advantages, but to get here just on who I am as an authentic person, I think that's pretty cool too.
Awesome. I love that answer. Also, I hope you're doing well from your surgery. I do have one last question. I just wanted to be a super quick. Okay. I just want to be super quick. What's something in the game that you did for your friend? So I know this season was all about friendship, and we all had secret duos. What's something that you did for your friend, Ryan? I know your friend went out the first episode, but what's something like if you did anything? What is something that you did for your friend, or you thought was very beneficial? Anyone can start.
I can say that I guaranteed my friend Final Six immunity, which I don't think anyone else can say they did something along those lines. Jokes aside, though, any time that Molly's name had popped up before that point, I did deflect, and that's about it. But I don't think there should be anything. In reality, Molly is a decently social player, so it's not like I can say, oh, like if it wasn't for me, she would have been out super early. No, like she would have done a good job. So I can't say I did too much to help her out, but all things considered, for the fact that she had voted for me in that round, I think I repaid that favor, that action in a much better way for her.
Fair. All right. Either Ryan or Kelly next.
I don't know if I did much of anything for Nick. He's a very well-known player, pretty established. I got to know him and enjoyed him a lot. I did, like Gabe said, when I heard his name, I tried to deflect and try to push out other names. It obviously didn't work. But yeah, I think if I'm being super honest, I don't think there's anything I can say like I did this for Nick in his game.
Yeah, I really can't say anything because she got rocked out like at the first tribal she went to. So it's like, what could I really do? Like, we didn't even have like a scoop to really give her on our tribe, at least as far as I was concerned.
All right.
So I guess I redeemed our friendship and got here.
Perfect. Loved all of your answers. My vote is still on the air, so keep answering questions greatly. And that's all I have. So thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you very
Anthony,
much.
before you go,
Oh.
Can I say something to Anthony real quick, even though he's gone? I didn't play with him or you very much. I didn't get the chance to, but every single time I've seen interactions with you, I've loved it. And so I hope after the game we can get to know each other because you seem amazing.
Well, thank you. So Tyler's having some issues connecting. So I'm going to read his question, and this is for all of you. So he said, congratulations on making it to Final 3. My question is, how did your friend twist help or hurt your game? And did you navigate it not just with your friend, but with all the other parts of friends as well?
I believe the French twist helped my game in the fact that because she was rocked out, I was a free agent. I didn't have a friend on another side to help me out. So basically, there's no reason to voting me out. If people wanted to vote someone else because they wanted to be the last pair left to get that immunity, there'd be no sense in voting me out because my friend was already gone. And as far as the twist in general, Anthony and Tyler is a great connection because they were friends. I formed a very close trio. Maybe not. You know what? Might have gone Final 3. You know what? The game always changes. But at the time, I made that 3-person chat. That really was my my core trio, and that's making great use of the French twist because they're two friends. They want to stick together. You know, I have good bonds with both of them, so I'd like them to be safe. So in that regards, French twist really helped me out in that.
Can you repeat the question again, especially the second? Just repeat the
Yes,
whole
of
question
course.
if you can.
So my question is, how did that friend twist help or hurt your game? And did you navigate it not just with your friend, but with all the other pairs of friends as well?
I'm not going to lie, the last part of the question is tripping me up in terms of what he means, but for the sake of it, I'll try and answer. So, obviously, the friend's twist helped me out. I cannot complain about Molly being a bad friend to end up with. She clearly, I have actually never played with Molly, but I've seen her in the community, at least her face always getting higher placements or something along those lines. So I knew like she would be up there. In fact, one of the rewards that I had got was an advantage where I could have swapped out my friend whenever I wanted to. Up till the merge, I believe, or something along those lines. And I never really felt like the need of doing that. That doesn't mean that, oh, I thought everyone else sucked or anything like that, but more so, I thought, you know what, like, I am confident in this person, will help me out in this game, and I wanted to keep on locking this one-to-one relationship. At the end of the day, I think I had navigated the French. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but I did earn the goal of the friendship or like the end goal of that, and so I do think that we had configured ourselves very well. In terms of other pairs, maybe if I'm assuming this right, Madison was targeted specifically because I had deduced from all people remaining it was only Holly and Madison remaining, so I knew I had to shoot at least one of them in that final 7 vote. I chose Madison over Holly. One, I thought Madison was slightly more of a challenge threat from seeing her in the pre-swap as well. And secondly, I wanted Holly to stay around because I knew she had a bigger target on her back on the moves she had made. It doesn't mean that Madison is a low level player or something along those lines. Just Holly had took a huge load all at once, so I was like, okay, I can balance this out, and hopefully it'll half cover me. That's about it. Hopefully that answers the question.
I don't know if the twist helped or hurt in any way. I thought it was really interesting. It was fun having the opportunity to get a little bit of information about what's happening on the other tribe, Nick and I didn't spend all of our time kind of rehashing what was happening on each tribe, but like being able to hear a little bit more about what happened on that first rock vote was nice. And you know, maybe having a chance to get in, you know, I don't think so. I really wanted that relationship with Nick to be quiet because I knew pretty much right away that he's well known and a big player, and I didn't want that to hurt either one of us. And so I wanted to keep it pretty quiet, and that was the same way I played with Gabe, right? Like I had one alliance and then these two one-person alliances. So I mean, it did help, I guess, in the sense of like you gave each of us an ally to start with. And I felt pretty much all the way through until Nick left that even if I couldn't trust what he was saying 100%, that I could put more trust in him than most other people in the game. And so I was counting on the information coming from Nick and Gabe probably more than anybody else. I obviously didn't navigate it as well as Gabe and Molly. I was hoping Nick and I could make it to that last spot, but I didn't know about Madison and Holly either. So I probably would have went with them. So yeah.
All right. So we will go to our next juror. I hope that here's Holly. Holly, are you there?
Hopefully Holly's there. I know Holly's bubble was there.
She can type questions if she needs to.
Just in case your mic is muted.
Her mic is muted. Yeah, Holly, your mic is muted if you didn't know that.
If any of you need like a bathroom break or something, if you want to take a second while I figure this out.
And also, and I will say our final juror after that is finishing getting her way home from Disney. So I know everybody's surprised.
I'll go get a glass of water since I can then.
Well, people of Facebook, how are you doing? So there will be some interviews happening on the page from players that are currently here, old players from other seasons, but we're going to focus on this season for now. Hart is one of them. Hart is muted, so Hart can't speak. Too bad. But we'll hear him speak soon enough. Who knows? I know, clock's ticking. Wearing your winter buff. Yep. So yes, and
I wanted to show it off so the winner of this season is going to know what they're going to get soon in the mail.
Mm-hmm. So. Yep. So they'll get one of those in the mail. We will also be selling our buffs. So you can get your own buff, and we'll have a Google Doc that'll be a little order form, so you can sport one of these lovely buffs. So some good, exciting things to look forward to on Cerberus. And our next season, we already pretty much know what it is, will be happening. And maybe, no, I won't. But we will be having a new season that will be coming up soon enough.
Maybe you'll see one of us. Who knows? I'm just going to configure this.
All right,
So
just giving a quick update there to try and cut the lack of dead air there. We
thanks.
have, sorry.
No, please.
I've been trying to work behind the scenes there and make sure we have everybody coming in. Still trying to get a hold of Holly. She was in the waiting room, but but I believe we will be having our other juror popping on in just one moment.
Yay.
But final three, you guys are all killing it. You guys are doing a great job. Please make sure you're staying hydrated. As the three hosts have each all had some sort of edible consumption.
That makes this more interesting. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are great. And then, if everybody, the new season of Survivor airs next week, which is exciting. Season 42.
Oh my gosh. It's random since we have the time to just discuss. I don't know about you guys, but like ever since orgs popped up for me a bit like fended a bit off from not that I don't watch the episodes, but I don't watch the analysis videos except for Survivor and SFW. Unironically. Unironically, I genuinely can't consume any other podcasts right now. It's just too much.
All right. Final three. Are we ready for our next juror? All right.
Yes, I might have to be
All
off camera. I think I might throw up, but I'll still be here.
Okay.
I'll answer if I'll be.
That is perfectly fine, Callie. And I'm going to do you guys one other favor. There we go. I took heart off the screen for you. All right. But here comes Miss Madison.
Oh my god, hey cuties. Wait, can you hear me? I don't know how this works. Oh my gosh, amazing. Hi. I literally just got home from Disney. I've watched none of this yet. So I have no context for anything that y'all have done. I will be watching before I vote. Coming into this, I have a preference, I think, but I'm also very open to hearing y'all's arguments. Actually, I think the person I want to hear the most from is Ryan, because we didn't like connect in this game, which is totally okay. Like I said, I think I genuinely love your personality. I love you as a human being, but like in the game, we just didn't talk. So walk me through, just like give me a Cliff Notes version of your winning game, like 30 seconds, elevator pitch.
A Cliff Notes game, Survivor's a game based on perception. Do everything you can to manipulate perception because you need people to think, for the most part, that you're a lesser threat. You need to be taken out another time, and you'll get by the next few rounds. And manipulating that perception allowed me to make big moves within the game, flushing Callie's idol, planting the seeds for the blindsiding Molly at the final five, and not coming across like a challenger at the final four. So at the final four fire making, I took out a massive target in Holly in the puzzle. Always give 110%. Give her everything you have. Your personality needs to shine through. Not everything needs to be boring. You can be entertaining and a good player. And I like to think that in a season that was as chaotic and fun as this, I think I represent the season the best.
I don't know if I can agree with the very last sentence yet. We'll see. But I do wholeheartedly agree. I think you can be entertaining and a great player at the same time. Gabe, my question for you. I think that if you feel like you have to win a challenge in Survivor to stay around, you've already lost the game. That's how I view the game as a juror, just in that like competitions are not everything. And I say that as somebody who's usually not very strong at competitions. Apparently I was this season. That's great for me. I still don't think competitions are a base of a winning game. And I think that's what a lot of people have focused on your game, is like the physical game, all of that. So tell me, aside from winning competitions, aside from keeping yourself safe, talk me through managing that target level, because you were a threat from round one of this game and you're still sitting here. So talk me through that a little bit.
I would say, like, to be fair, it seems like Brandon shot at our target at me at the very first round, and I don't think I had done anything to deserve that in the very first round, in my opinion. So whatever that ended up being, like I managed to secure myself to get to here. And I do agree with you in saying, oh, like winning challenge after challenge isn't the ideal way to go. But like I said beforehand, like I didn't just win challenges. There were 3 different methods I used to secure the different immunity wins that I got. One of the things that was mentioned by other people as well, Callie was the one who told me, hey, I need to actually play my Final 7 idol, my Final 6 idol at Final 7. And there's no way that you can say I didn't socialize for her to tell me that. We ended up having a number 1 deal after Nick had went out. But
Okay.
can you repeat the first question? The question again,
That was it.
please?
You
Sorry.
answered my question, and I want to give
Sure.
Callie time if she's able to answer. I also understand. Okay, great. Hi, Queen, my love. Oh my God. Okay, Callie, I adored you in this game. You definitely connected with me the most, like personally. We just had the best social connection in the game, and I think a lot of people have spoken to your social game quite a bit. But for you, I kind of have the opposite question of Gabe, where like I feel like you've made a lot of social connections. You've proven that. What else did you do for me? And if you've already answered this again, I'm sorry. I only have this to go on right now. I can't hear you, Queen. I can't hear you, Queen. Can anybody else hear her?
No.
No.
Callie, try and unmute and
I think she just did that. It might be the
mute and unmute.
AirPods.
Don't worry, you got time.
Sorry. Is this eating my time? Sad.
You're
is that
all right,
better?
no worries. Oh, there we go.
Okay, I took my
Yes.
headphones out. I think they might have
Amazing.
died.
Now I can hear you. Go on, Queen.
Okay. So historically, I have performed miserably at challenges. Like, I am always hoping I can be carried along far enough in the game that my social game will have a chance to be effective. I am so proud of the way I got through the challenges in this season. Like, no, I didn't win the Cheesecake Challenge, but I won first individual immunity. I carried my tribe on a couple of those pre-merge challenges. I got the idol for the most embarrassing thing right off the bat. And even though everyone is talking about it being flushed, I don't think it was used inappropriately because my name hadn't been coming up any other time. And now I was safe in that Rocks vote, which I did know was coming. I think it is involved in my social game, but it's not, in that I knew where every single vote was going to go, except for the ones where there was twists or daisy chains and stuff, or safety chains and stuff like that. So while most of my moves aren't like explosive and big, I think I was moving and grooving this whole game in ways that I haven't before. And yeah, whether I win tonight or not, I think I rocked it.
And that's a storyline I'm willing to vote for. Thank you all so much. Thank you all. It was a pleasure to meet you and play with each and every one of you. Thank you to Prod again for having me. Kisses. This game was so much fun. I'm done now. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. Bye, Madison. Let me just see. I think Holly might be ready, but I was just checking.
I'll throw her on. I see her bubble. But let's give it a shot.
All
Holly,
right.
you there? Hello, Holly. Hello, hello, hello.
All right. Did you post her question?
Oh no, she
Oh.
has not. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can try and figure out what's going on.
All righty. So let's all just sit here and stare at each other. That'll be fun.
I'm so hard not to throw up right now.
Oh, just I hope you feel better. So pretty much just one person left, and then we'll vote, and then we'll pull back on live. We'll do the read. We'll do it all tonight.
Just an update for everyone. My leg is asleep.
Oh no.
No, I'm
You
not
should
the
get
most...
up and do a little dance.
I might, but you're not going to see it.
But we can hear it.
I'm not even dancing. Put your left foot in, put your right foot in, put your right foot in.
Thank you.
All right, so just remember after this, we're going to go into closings, and we'll do that in reverse order. We're still going to wait another minute to see if we get a response from Miss Holly.
We have a shout out from Michael Schaefer saying "Dance for us, Clark."
Is anybody
So-
else hearing like a really weird feedback right now?
No. Are you sure it's just
like
not
a
the
kitten
hospital machines?
is trying to speak to me through my phone.
Oh, geez.
Are you sure that's just not the hospital drugs?
Maybe if you leave and come back, it would work. Since you have the time.
It could also be that you're using your phone to speaker instead of headphones. Oh, I kind of heard it that time.
Uh-huh.
All right. We're going to get moving on. If for some chance we get something from Holly, we'll pass it along to you guys. But Holly, of course, will still be voting. Not exactly. She had messaged earlier saying, "Oh, that's probably why." Holly is currently at the bar, so things may have gotten a little loud where she is. But she is planning to stay silent. We're planning to stay silent. Listen. But she also said, "Love you, Callie. Hope the surgery went well." And if we get another question from Holly, we'll let you guys know. Okay. But in the meantime, thanks, Sarah. I'll hand it back off to you, and we'll go. I guess we'll go into closings.
Yep. All right. So yes, we will go to closing statements. So we're going to go in the opposite order. So Ryan, would you give your closing statement first?
Just want to say thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you all for hearing me out and listening to me. I know I definitely have the most confusing ride. So let me just sum it up just one more time. I think I've controlled my perception and manipulated the perception, my threat level at the best. I was able to come from the bottom and get to the end of the game without a single immunity, only one fire making challenge. I went to the most tribal councils of anybody this entire game. I only missed one. I was able to get myself all the way to the end. Never immune, never safe from a vote under any circumstances. And I think that says a lot for what I was able to do. Yes, it may be seen as, I was goofy. I wasn't someone to be taken seriously, but that was something I was doing intentionally, which I think is a smart strategy. And I think a lot of good players definitely use that. And I was still being able to have that perception while simultaneously make moves. Like I said, the idle flush, flipping the vote on the Molly at final
God
five.
damn you, Ryan.
Just just pointing out there. More and more and more. Just kidding. But and flipping the vote and final four, sending Holly home and fire making, adding a final acumen to my resume at the very end. I was able to get myself here to present my case to you, playing probably the most unique game of the final
Can
three.
none of you two hear Ryan right now? You guys can't hear him? You can.
You can.
But does he sound like a little mouse to you?
No.
But yeah, thank you all for listening. I hope you take into consideration my path to get to the end and what I was able to do to get here to present my case to you. Thank you.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Ryan. Let's give Callie a second just to come back.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good idea.
I believe she's attempting to just reload the whole entire thing.
Okay. So it's just
because I didn't pull her off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should I just let move on and let her go last? Or do you want to, or what do you think, Gabriel? Since it's you.
Fair enough. just for the sake of the order.
Okay.
Hold on. She just messaged the main chat. How do I get back in? I was just going to say click on the link again.
takes too long, like to say, I'll give her 2 minutes or so.
Okay.
Yeah. No, she at
And
least
then-
is saying, "How do I get back in?"
No, yeah. In terms of like, I don't want to
No, I
stall this
understand.
too long either.
As soon as I see her, I'll throw her in. In the meantime, we do have another comment from Facebook World for San saying our season 2 fourth placer saying let's go Gabe. All right, here's Callie. Hello, Callie. Can you hear us?
Okay, if you can hear me, I'm still having some really weird.
We can hear you perfectly fine. Hold on one second. There you go. Thank you, Dave.
So Callie, we can see and hear you absolutely fine. Well, not at the. I can't see you yet.
He looks like a wall to the soul. You know, it gotta somehow guide.
I will also shout out Josh. I know that you said hi, Tess, so hello back.
Okay, my turn for closing. Sorry for the chaos. I've not been able to hear. Everybody sounds like they have those kitten voices, you know, where it's like, so now I'm a tiny bit frazzled. I first of all want to say thank you to everybody. I agree with everybody else. This has been the most fun org I've played. I'm still relatively new to them, but I have cried in every single other org that I've played, and I did not cry on this one. I know that my game is not as spicy as some people's games are. But I think that I played this game better than I've played any game to this point. I think I, in different ways, outplayed both Gabe and Ryan. I think I love Ryan, and I think he has earned his way here in a really unique way. But I don't think Class Clown is the thing that is deserving of everybody's vote tonight. And as much as I love Gabe, and as much as he used all of his skills to his advantage, I think I don't think he would have gotten here if he didn't have all of those, you know, like kind of like what Madison was saying. You scrambled every second of the way, which is not a bad thing at all. You got here, and but I didn't have to scramble as much as anybody else. I felt relatively safe most of the game. I did build really good relationships. I feel like I manifested the season into being. I had on Facebook said, is there such a thing as a Golden Girls Survivor org? Because I want that to be a thing. And everybody's like, what do you mean, hosting or playing? And I was like, I don't care. I just want this to be a thing. And then Hart was like, well, what do you know? We're doing this Golden Girls thing. And I am so glad I have done it. And I feel so good about you guys not just going through all of these challenges, but recovering from 6 major surgeries, getting ready for another major surgery. I can't really express to you how many times my family has said, you're pushing too hard, you're doing too much, because I give everything in these games. When I'm here, I'm always thinking about it. I'm always trying to figure out how I can get to a better place. I'm always thinking about what's going to be the best way to get me to the end without being the kind of player that I don't like. And I think I did that. And I think it deserves your vote.
All right. Thank you, Callie and Gabe.
Okay, hi once again. For the sake of it, good points by my other finalists. Like, I do think most people everyone here deserves it. And I think my only issue would be that it's not that to say, for instance, I'll just grab onto Ryan's point that he was the class clown, and that's why it's a strategy to be here. I would say, for instance, like there was always going to be someone who wasn't Holly, you know, that would have ended up here in this position. Not saying he didn't try to put himself in that position, but I made sure that it was someone that I would have been okay being here before her. For someone else, for instance, to the idea of the triggering of idols, Ryan had wanted, I believe, either Madison or Molly to receive the votes to receive the fake name that round, and I had changed it to Callie on purpose so that Callie actually stays, so there isn't any shenanigans. And yes, I did say that on the group chat, and Anthony or Tyler can go ahead and check it out and tell the jury chat. And then as well, once I had played the idol at Final 7, it was Molly who played her own idol, so you could say I also flushed that idol out. Um, in other ways, in terms of Callie, she has a good point in terms of that she had informed me to use the Final 7 idol. I was banking on her to tell me. But on the flip side, it was her who ended up telling me through our relationship. It was a two-way thing, I would say. We both benefited from that. Callie wanted to remove a girl without her getting any blood on herself, which is true in my opinion, in terms of it, that's definitely fair. And as well, I needed to make sure it's done perfectly, where I can get two immunities in one go. Now, I will give props to Holly here because I wanted to do it around later, but it just didn't pan out, especially with how social relationships went. So props to you, Holly. And that was an extra reason why I just couldn't get you here. Other than that, for the sake of it, I do feel like my game might have you I would say you can't judge me too hard on the end game necessarily, because at the end of the day, when it was final 5, I had only won one single immunity challenge. Like there was still the idea of me being a threat low despite having on paper lesser moves, or not as many moves as other at least as equal to any other player. But I felt like I was pushed into a corner for either previous games, potentially maybe I was had lower levels of energy either through time zones or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I made it work, and I am here through my own means and making sure that I'm an asset to other people's games, at the very least to some other people's games. I do want to thank everyone once again. This was an amazing season, and despite it being 1 week, I do think it was very well run. I put as much effort as I could, and this is the point where we are. I hope you guys can remember either the questions or anything related. I'll leave it at there. Good luck, guys. Thank you once again.
All right. Well, thank you, all three of you. Congratulations for being here. There we are. We're all here. Thank you so much for just a great season in general. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little time. We're going to get the votes. We're going to come back. We're going to read the votes, and then we're going to crown a winner. So, take a break. Do what you got to do.
We'll end the stream though, but we'll call you guys back when we have everything. All right, great job, you guys.
Good luck, you guys.
Thanks, guys.